So this is cool. Makerpad is a community created by Ben Tossell. So he had put out a tweet the other day where he said, hey, ask me questions on things you'd like to build, and I'll give you a suggestion for a way to do it with no code. So Makerpad is like a no code community. And so the tweet went viral, got tons of feedback. Literally the next day, he turned that into a piece of functionality on the site, on Makerpad. You just submit an idea. So I'm gonna just show this on the screen real quick if you can see that. You just submit an idea. You submit an idea, it has a status, so it's either open or it's answered or whatever, and then you click into it, and then he responds with a suggestion. So for example, first one on the list, a personal SMS-based assistant / reminder system, and then boom, he answers it. You could add drafts to something like a Google Sheet and use Zapier to push those messages. Otherwise, and then he links up tools to look at, Google Sheets and Zapier, related tutorials. So this is such a smart growth hack right here. It's like a really smart way to turn that tweet thread into a piece of functionality that can scale, right? Where people can ask questions and you can have a nice list of everything, a nice resource for people that are looking for information. Now, the one critique I'm going to make here is that while it is very powerful, all the specific types of ideas, there's everything in here. Marketplace. I want a directory with multiple filters, a smart home estimation tool, chat roulette with scheduled booking, company-wide wiki. There's tons and a really variety and diversity of ideas here with suggestions. My question was essentially how to build an email forwarding messaging system, which is something I sort of custom rolled my own for Commerce Hero, and there's issues with it. So I'm always thinking about should I redo it? Things like that. What would be a clean way to redo it? I did get an answer, which was cool. The only critique I'll make is that the answer was a little light on details. The answer was Zapier has their own emailing service you may be able to use. Add Airtable as a middle step so messages get sent to that and from that. So that was a cool suggestion. Definitely something I should look into if I want to get deeper into this. What does that mean? Zapier has their own emailing service. Does that mean I can have it under my own domain, which would be important in this case and things like that? So if these answers were rock solid, here's exactly how to implement, because I think the thing I think about with the no code stuff is that big picture, it's fascinating. There's definitely some really interesting stuff you can do with no code tools, but the devil's in the details in terms of implementing things. Zapier is really neat. A lot of the time when I look into Zapier and I try to get something implemented, I'm like, oh, they don't have trigger that I need for this particular use case. So you're kind of blocked. So I think the devil's in the details with execution on these. That was what blew me away about the one I talked about, I think yesterday or the day before, Dualito, which is just so polished. It's like a marketplace for finding custom prefab homes, like tiny homes kind of a thing. And it was just so polished. That was what blew me away about that. And I think that if you can implement all these things in a really polished way and you can get all the details right, that's going to be pretty wild.